Hello all, this is James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade, and I'm here to talk to you about Star Trek Discovery. And it's not a review of this week's Star Trek Discovery. That will happen later today, as the episode has not aired. But we do indeed have news about Star Trek Discovery anyway. It seems that CBS has decided to renew Star Trek Discovery for a season 3. If anyone has been watching my videos or keeping track of my videos, you will know that I at one point made a plea earlier this year that the powers that be at CBS should indeed renew Star Trek Discovery for season 3. And I know I'm kind of in the minority on this opinion, but I think Star Trek is too important of a brand to leave in the shabby state that it's currently in. However, I'm afraid that the second part of the reason for my plea to have a third season of Star Trek Discovery may have fell on deaf ears, and that is to repair the brand that is Star Trek. Star Trek. Star Trek Discovery has done terrible damage to the IP. And I feel that the only way that the IP, or the best way to heal the IP, is to make an actual attempt in the third season to do so, to right the ship, if you will. And so for that reason, I appealed to the CBS Board of Directors to keep this show going for a third season, and that is with the assumption that there is going to be a credible attempt to repair the canon of Star Trek, to turn Star Trek Discovery into a show that could qualify as Star Trek. And to be fair, I have seen some glimmers of hope in the last couple of episodes of Season 2. Season 2 is far from over, but there have been a couple of episodes that have been, well, they've been episodic. They've had one plot line. There has been a little bit of growth of characters this season to the extent that we now know some names, but that's about it. You know, Saru has grown as a character. We already knew Saru. We've had, of course, Michael Burnham growth, and the main characters being Michael Burnham and Stamets and Tilly and Saru, plus our new addition of Captain Pike, who, well, frankly, they probably should show more of, and frankly, they need to give him more power like Jason Isaacs had. The crew is walking all over him. We've got crew violating Prime Directive left and right. Saru changed the entire course of his planet, and Captain Pike just watched as his crew violated the Prime Directive at every turn. I mean, right now, the captain is not looking very captainly. He's looking very much like a pushover who's okay with his senior officers running ramshot all over him. So well, it's an understatement to say that Star Trek Discovery has a lot of repair work to do to make it worthy of the Star Trek IP. And that's what needs to happen. There have been, small steps in the right direction, ever so small of steps, baby steps, if you will, of Star Trek Discovery going in the right direction this year. I don't expect it by the end of season 2 to be much better than it is currently because, well, you film and you make your seasons. It's not like what I'm saying now is going to affect any of the episodes of season 2. It's not. They've already filmed them. They've already done that. That's already been done. Anything that I say or do now, or any other YouTuber or critic who's giving criticism of Star Trek Discovery, that can't be translated into a result of change if they're willing to attempt to change until the next season. While this season has shown some hope and small baby steps of moving in the right direction, they have not been large enough. And if we are to take the transformation from season 1 to season 2 as an indication of how much they're willing to transform in season 3, it will not be enough. So I am skeptical about season 3 repairing Star Trek. Very skeptical. And it gets even more skeptical with the news. Star Trek Discovery renewed for season 3. Michelle Paradise up to co-showrunner. Okay, co-showrunner means that Kurtzman is still involved. So if Kurtzman's still involved, the chances that they can repair Star Trek are slim. Now, who's Michelle Paradise? Maybe CBS is putting somebody is inserting someone into Star Trek Discovery that can put Kurtzman in his place, that can right the ship. No. You do a little bit of research on Michelle Paradise, and you will discover that she has nothing to do with science fiction. She has no science fiction credits in her background. Michelle Paradise is best known for a short film about the 10 rules to survive as a lesbian, or something to that nature, that effect. And from that short film, there was a series spin-off called X's and O's, which was along the same thought process of well, basically films about lesbian relationships. And so evidently Michelle Paradise is, well, a lesbian individual who is proud to display that fact and is willing to go and make TV shows in regards to that. And, you know, great, more power to her, awesome. But what does that have to do with Star Trek Discovery? It really doesn't translate into any credible sci-fi film experience. It translates into a form of, well, it translates in my mind into a form of social justice. Though I don't know Michelle Paradise, and she's done nothing for me to think that she's a social justice warrior. The only thing I can see is that she is trying to push for the acceptance of lesbian relationships, and that's fine. I've never been against gay coupling per se, and you know, if that's her thing, more power to her. Great, you know, whatever makes everyone happy, I'm fine with. So as she could be a completely sane individual, other than the fact that she has, you know, sexual preferences that are out of the cultural norm, and If so, awesome. Maybe she has a good head on her shoulders, and maybe she can right the ship. But I don't see anything from her background or credits that, well, point me in the direction that she is going to right the ship. Basically, what I do see doesn't give me a lot of hope that Star Trek Discovery is going to stop playing identity politics. If anything, her being tapped is only going to continue the identity politics. And again, I don't know her. I don't know that she partakes in identity politics. I don't know anything about that nature. All I've seen is her short film and an episode or two of her X's and O's series, and from what I can tell, she seems like a fairly decent actress, and I didn't see anything in the short film and or X's and O's that would scream identity politics to me. Um, so yeah, there's that. So there's nothing to say that she is part of the identity politics crowd. Like, for instance, that Kathleen Kennedy we know is for sure. Um, so yeah, Kurtzman we know is part of the identity politics crowd. Is Michelle Paradise? I have no idea. But one can hope that maybe Michelle Paradise isn't, and will bring enough. Maybe she was a Star Trek fan growing up. Maybe she does, in fact, care about Star Trek, and maybe she can be maybe she can be a force to help this show go in the right direction. But again, I'm not very hopeful. I will hope that happens. I will pray that happens. But I have no great expectations that that will happen. Now, with that being said, since season 3 has been renewed, and since we know Kurtzman is still very much has his dirty hands on Star Trek, we've heard from CBS, and CBS seems to be in denial right now. CBS is claiming that CBS season 2 has been a wild success, but yet most media and or articles and or sources and or opinions that you can find, be it on YouTube or whatnot, all pretty much paint the same picture, that CBS All Access subscriber growth has slowed, stalled, or has gone downhill, and that Star Trek Discovery is doing nothing to help CBS All Access, and that Star Trek Discovery is not exactly wildly popular with the fan base. In fact, it's not. But CBS seems to be in denial of that fact. I mean, I would have been much more pleased had a CBS executive have come out and said, "We're going to have a season 3 to right the ship. Star Trek is an important IP for us, and we understand that season 1 and 2 of Star Trek Discovery have not been what the fan base wants, and we're going to make a credible effort to right the ship and make season 3 more Star Trek-like and what the fans desire, so that we can send off Star Trek Discovery on a proper note and repair some of the damage we've done to the brand." If a CBS executive would have came out and said that, then I would be very hopeful that maybe, possibly that would happen. But I don't think that's going to happen. I can hope. My fingers are crossed. I will watch season 3 with all due anticipation and hope that maybe they can fix things. But I have no let's just be realistic. there's been no respect earned by Kurtzman. There's been no respect earned by Star Trek Discovery. They have done nothing to enhance the Star Trek universe. They have only done damage to it. So I don't have high hopes. I don't have any hopes. Well, I do have some hopes, very marginally slim hopes, but I am tempering that with the realism that my hopes are likely not going to happen. And so that's where we're at. Star Trek Discovery, renewed for season 3. I have to be hopeful that that's a good thing. I have to be hopeful that this might actually repair Star Trek. That season 3 will be better than season 1 and 2. That is what I have to hope for as a Star Trek fan. But I totally understand where other people like Gary at Nerdrotic and our wonderful Lord Doomcock over at Overlord's DVD, where they're coming from when they say, what the fuck? Why are you re-upping season 3? Star Trek Discovery is a disgrace. Put it to bed. Stop the carnage. Stop the destruction. I understand their point of view wholeheartedly. I share it in a lot of ways, but the only thing that I don't share in their opinion is, well, I'm glad that a season 3 is coming because it's another shot at the dark that Star Trek Discovery might get fixed, and thus there might be some repair to the Star Trek IP. I have to feel that way as a Star Trek fan. I have not completely given up hope on Star Trek yet, as others may have. And so maybe that's how I differ. Maybe these other channels have given up complete hope in Star Trek. As a Star Trek fan, I have not, as of yet, given up complete hope in Star Trek. Season 3, I guess it'll be the nail in the coffin on whether or not I give up hope in Star Trek. If season 3 is more of the same Kurtzman shit, you can guarantee that I will give up all hope in Star Trek. Star Trek will be like Star Wars is to me now. Star Wars is dead to me because of identity politics. I do not want Star Trek to be dead to me too because of identity politics, but I will hold out for season 3 to prove me wrong and maybe resurrect Star Trek. That is my hope. That is my dream. Whether or not it becomes a reality, I don't think it's likely, but I'm going to hope. And that is where I am on this news about Star Trek Discovery and the renewal of Season 3. Anyway, I'm Jaames Johnson. This is my channel. I hope you appreciate these videos I'm putting out. And as always, leave a like, subscribe, all that jazz. And until next time, peace.